Welcome back, everybody, to another Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast. Before we get to this week's special tech guest, I want to remind you all we're continuing our top 20 countdown, the all-time most popular episodes based on downloads for the Educational AD Podcast. We did over 500 interviews, and we're closing in on our 1,000th total segment, and we're counting down the top 20. So we'll continue that tomorrow with number 5. But today it's Tech Tuesday, heading into the National Athletic Directors Conference in Orlando. Before we meet today's guest, we want to give our sponsors a shout out. Again, these are all companies that I used as an athletic director. You should be using them too. Here we go. We want to say thanks to our good friends at Gipper. Go to Gipper.com. Their team is going to help you to start creating world-class marketing content for your school's social media channel. Your kids are on social media, and a lot of your parents too. And if you're not promoting your athletes and celebrating the accomplishments of your teams, you're really missing out. Gipper's used and trusted by over 3,000 high school and college athletic programs across the country, and it's professional graphic design made simple. How simple? Even I can do it. Go to Gipper.com, mention the podcast, you'll get a nice discount. That's Gipper.com. We also want to say thanks to Hometown Ticketing. Hometown is the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. I don't think I need to say anything more, but it's digital ticketing that offers you more support, more security, and more customization. Go to hometownticketing.com. They're going to help you make the best online ticketing solution. Hometownticketing.com. We also want to say thanks to Vital Signs Wall of Fame. Go to their website, vitalsignswalloffame.com. Check out their interactive touchscreen video consoles. It's a great way to showcase your school record boards for all the teams, for all the sports, and your school's Hall of Fame. That's vitalsignswalloffame.com. Let them help you bring your school's legacy to life. vitalsignswalloffame.com. We want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com, schedule a live web demo, and see their score tables and their scoreboards in action. Their products not only generate income for your athletic department, they also create the ultimate game day experience for your student athletes. That's sidelineinteractive.com. We also want to say thanks to Home Campus. Go to homecampus.com. They're the official high school and state association management platform for us. It's also your one-stop for things like scheduling, student athlete eligibility and clearance, even helping parents upload their own forms and documents, tracking coaches, you name it, Home Campus does it. As an athletic director, I used it every day. Go to homecampus.com to get started. That's homecampus.com. We also want to say thanks to our friends at Snap Raise. Have you ever spent days and weeks with a fundraiser and got little, if any, return? Stop right here. Go to snapraise.com/EDAD. Hands down, it's the best online fundraiser out there. They also have a lot of other platforms like Snap Sponsor, Snap Store, a really cool one called FanX. You'll find it all at snapraise.com. That's snapraise.com. We also want to say thanks to Huddle. Go to huddle.com and change the way that you see the game. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, and it was fantastic. But when I became an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school. And our coaches just loved the tools that Huddle provided that let them coach our kids up to their highest level. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users, and turn your school into a Huddle school. We also want to say thanks to our good friends at Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. If you've never used a survey to take the pulse of your student athletes or your parents, you're really missing out. Athletic directors already hear back from the complainers, that small group that want to gripe about everything. Athletic Surveys connects you to that group, but they also connect you to the 98% that supports your program. And that's a tremendously valuable tool to have when you're talking with a frustrated parent or your principal or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. Let them create a custom survey for you. It's going to help you take your athletic program from good to great. That's athleticsurveys.com. Welcome back, everyone, to another Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast. We truly are visiting with a good friend. If you've been paying attention these last couple of weeks, we've been doing our flashback top 20 countdowns. He's part of that. People, when he speaks, people listen. Our guest today is Matthew Glick. He's the founder and CEO of Gipper, one of our great sponsors. And, we're excited to have him back on the podcast for Tech Tuesday. Matthew, how's it going?
It is going great. I'm very excited to not only be back on the podcast, but have an opportunity to catch up in the rankings, hopefully, in what has been a very serious competition between me and some ADs, specifically Colin Fagley. So I'm fired up to be here and to be speaking with you, and looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone pays attention to those rankings quite like Colin does. It is very much a rivalry, and we're glad to have both of you as part of the podcast family. For listeners, we're recording this on December 11th, so you're listening to it in a very timely manner, and that's good because the NADC is coming up in just, we would say 5 days in Orlando, Florida. Matthew, you were sharing that you've got a history with the NADC. Share with our listeners a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who are listening who may not be familiar, I just want to give some background on Gipper. We're the leading social media content creation and management platform for athletic departments. We're used by thousands of athletic administrators across the country, tens of thousands of coaches. We're also used by not only middle school and high school athletic departments, but the top collegiate athletic departments in the country as well. And the whole point is to make it incredibly quick and easy for ADs, coaches to be able to create and share social media content in seconds on any device and without needing any sort of design experience. And my journey actually started when I was really in college. I started Gipper when I was playing Division I soccer at Colgate University. And as maybe a 20-year-old, maybe 21, I attended my first ever conference to promote Gipper, which just so happened to be the National Athletic Directors Conference. And I was joking with you a little bit, before we went live on the pod, because we went to NADC, me and my co-founder, Jack, and we had no idea what we were doing. We had the worst booth, both in terms of location. We're in the very, very, very back corner, and in setup. We had pretty much an empty booth with just a stand-up banner and about nothing else. And then we also were very overdressed. We were wearing sports coats. And noticed that most athletic directors were not dressed in suits or anything formal like that. And so we very quickly learned, not only how to better prepare for NADC, but we also learned what an amazing conference it was. We met so many of our customers at the time, so many new ADs, and it was really like a transformational moment in our company's history. I remember we signed up a bunch of people right at the booth, and we even had a whiteboard that we wrote this question on, which was, do you have a Twitter account for your athletic department? And we would spin the sign and step out to the aisle to try to draw people in, and had some amazing, memories with ADs who are still using Gipper to this day, and some who've developed into real friends. So I'm excited to go back this year because we've graduated a bit from, that tiny booth. And this year we'll have a quad booth, which is 4 booths in one, and one of those overhead banners that you can see from anywhere in the conference hall. So a coming of age moment for Gipper and for myself.
Wow, that's got to be pretty cool. So you have to have like a before and after, or how it started, how it's going photo there to show the growth. And again, for listeners, if you're not familiar with Gipper, Matthew talks about creating great social media graphics for your teams, your kids, and having it very user friendly. And in my shout outs for Gipper, and again, I use the product. It's a great product. I say it's so simple, even I can use it. Their team, helped me, get started. It was probably about 45 minutes, and I felt like a pro diving into the platform. So if you're not using it, you really need to stop by the Gipper booth. talk to Matthew, talk to the team. They will definitely get you going. Speaking of stopping by the booth, you've got some things going on. Share with our listeners, what they can expect to find when they come by the Gipper booth.
Yeah, absolutely. So a big thing that we're doing this year that I think is tremendously valuable to ADs who are going to be at the conference is we're actually going to be giving out free professional headshots. So you can come by the booth. It's totally on us, and we can set you up with, we'll have a professional photographer there, and we're doing free headshots that you can use both for your role as an AD or anything else that you may be pursuing. So if you come by booth number 805, just look for the big green overhead Gipper, and you can make sure that you get a headshot totally on us. And you can also, ahead of the conference, skip the line by signing up online. So I'll send over a link, Jake, and that's something that maybe we can include in the podcast notes for people to be able to go and sign up for those headshots.
Well, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned that you're also going to be doing some demos.
Yes. So that is actually on December 17th. We have a specific time. It's 3:45 p.m. It's going to be at the lounge area right in the center of the vendor hall. And I'm going to be conducting a demo of the Gipper platform so you can see all of the latest and the greatest of what we have to offer. But you're also going to see an athletic director talking about his experience using Gipper. So I think it's really important, when you're considering software to use, that you're able to hear from other folks who are actually in your seat going through the same challenges that a busy AD goes through. And so you're going to be able to hear from Colin Fagley, an athletic director from Green Level High School in North Carolina, and he'll really show you how he uses Gipper and why it's so valuable for him and thousands of other ADs across the country.
Well, that's nice of you to give Colin, your rival, a shout out. But absolutely, Colin's very active on Facebook, on Twitter, promoting his teams, just some great graphics. And you might think that, he is some kind of, specialist in that, but he basically is using Gipper templates, uploading photos, putting in the text. But again, stop by that. That's going to be Sunday, December 17th. And you mentioned that was going to be in the lounge area, correct?
Yep, 3:45 p.m. In the lounge area right in the center of the vendor hall.
Okay. And again, come by the Gipper booth. I think it's going to be pretty easy to find. Matthew, one of the great things about the NADC is the opportunity for networking. There's the LTI courses, which are fantastic. I'm going to be teaching two. If you haven't signed up yet, I'm teaching, helping to teach the two middle school courses, but there's 50 other courses that you can sign up for. We also have the workshops that are absolutely free. Pop in. And I know a lot of ADs will schedule their workshop attendance around a theme, and they'll go to like 4 or 5 different, maybe it's fundraising, or maybe it's working with coaches or parents. But you can find a workshop that's going to fit your schedule. But another great thing about the conference is the networking opportunities that occur in, let's say, less formal settings. Gipper's going to be offering a networking opportunity. Tell our listeners about that.
Yes, absolutely. So Sunday at 7 p.m., we're going to be hosting an event. There's going to be free drinks, free food, games, networking opportunities just to hang out and speak with other ADs from across the country. This is all going to be at the Magnolia Lawn at the World Center Marriott. So it's just right outside the convention center. And again, the Magnolia Lawn, 7:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. at night. We're going to be there the whole time with a bunch of ADs. And again, free drinks, free food, and the opportunity to hang out, learn from other folks, build relationships, and just have a good time as well. And what I'm sure will be a very busy day or a very busy weekend for lots of folks in Orlando.
Right. And the Gipper social events, networking events are always very well attended. They're always worth your while. And if I may, give out a little shout out and a thank you at sometime during that evening on Sunday, December 17th. I'm going to be there and I'm going to have some free copies, actually quite a few free copies of our new book, The Athletic Director's Toolbox, 3rd edition. And we're just going to be giving them away. And I'm saying that in part because Gipper very generously has sponsored that book and one of our other books to help us share best practices with athletic directors. So, come by. Probably you'll be, later in the evening, but we're going to have those books, free copies to hand out, and want to give a big public shout out to Matthew and the whole Gipper team for helping to sponsor that book.
Yeah, absolutely. And also for those of you who may have been at the event last year, I think we had throughout the night close to 500 ADs come by. Such just an amazing opportunity, not only for everyone at the conference, but just personally myself to be able to meet with so many awesome people contributing back to their communities. It's not often that you get a chance to do that. And so I'm really excited and also very fired up to be seeing you in person, Jake. It's been too long.
Always great to hang out with you and your team. If somebody's listening and they're new to, let's say, the profession, they're new to Gipper, go and give out the website. And, if they want to find out more, so they're not a complete novice going into the conference, how do they get in touch with you and your team?
Yes, absolutely. So you can just go to Gipper.com. So that's Gipper.com. And you can create a free trial account. We have a free trial for up to 2 weeks where you can actually get in at no cost and start using the platform. You can also book a demo from the site with our team if you rather speak with someone and be able to get walked through how the platform works. But the whole point of Gipper is that it's incredibly easy. And so you'll be able to get started right away, be able to create content for your program and get it out on your social media channels. And one of the big benefits as well with Gipper is we have a mobile app. So once you get started on your free trial account, you're using Gipper, you're going to be able to download the mobile app for iOS or Android and be able to create content on the go really, really easily as well. We want to make sure, despite how busy and on the move an AD is, that you always have the opportunity to push your content out to promote your program and all your student athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, if you're new to the platform, you could be at a volleyball game, a softball game, taking pictures on your cell phone. You can do uploads and updates, by innings, volleyball won the first set, and put a picture of a kid out there. It's current, and your kids are on social media. A lot of their parents are on social media. So you need to be on social media, and Gipper is just a great way to do it. And as I say, it's so easy, even I can do it. Okay. Matthew, thanks as always for your support of the podcast and the books and everything you do to help our profession. And absolutely looking forward to catching up with you and your team in person at the NADC this coming weekend.
Yes, likewise. Thank you so much, Jake. And thank you to all those who are listening, and hope to see some of you in person very, very soon. Thanks so much.
For our listeners, we do Tech Tuesday every week, and we also upload the Zoom recordings to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. Of course, we appreciate your support. Come back next Tuesday for another great tech tip, and just about every day for new content on the Educational AD Podcast. We will see you at the conference. Hey, great time with Matthew Glick of Gipper. Don't forget their big event Sunday, December 17th. I'm going to put a link in the show notes that you can register for that. Also, his demo and the headshots, there's a link to jump to the front of the line to do that. I'll have all of that in the show notes. Thanks again for listening. Before we leave, we want to thank all of our sponsors, including Gipper. They not only helped with the podcast, but they helped with our two most recent books, the Athletic Director's Toolbox 3rd edition and the All-Star Athletic Director. Both are available on Amazon. Both are going to be at the NADC. We also want to thank Huddle. Go to huddle.com. I want to thank Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. I want to say thanks to SnapRaise, the best fundraising platform out there. Go to snapraise.com. I want to say thank you to Home Campus. Go to homecampus.com. It should be your one-stop for state association management. I want to thank Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com for more information. I want to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Let them create a custom survey for you and your program. That's athleticsurveys.com. And VitalSignsWallOfFame.com. you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards or your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. Thanks again for listening. We'll see everybody at the NADC in Orlando and next time on the Educational AD Podcast.